Welcome back to another video, and today I'll be discussing the newest makeup announcements and releases. Welcome back, and today I'll be discussing the newest makeup announcements and releases that have been made during the last week or so. About this video, I kind of looked at my Instagram folder, and I think there is we have a couple of summer releases, which is I still think I'm not in the summer zone yet, considering that it's barely spring, at least based on how the outside conditions, at least where I'm living, look currently. But I mean, I get it. It's Easter weekend by the time when I'm filming this one, and basically most spring releases they have already launched or are about to launch. So I think it's natural that we're gonna see now start seeing sneak peeks of summer releases. And I think, as always, most the few ones that I think are included in this video are luxury brand releases. Those do tend to be sneak peeked quite early. But let's start talking about the newest makeup products that I have for today's video. So the first two launches I have are actually from Dolce and Gabbana's beauty brand. So first one of them is a Cherry Glaze Bar Blush Stick. That's a long name for a blush stick. Could we just go with that blush stick or something? There are 5 shades in this particular variation. I do have to say, considering that there are 5 kind of mid-tone looking shades, and then we have one deeper shade, which considering that Dolce & Gabbana Beauty is a big luxury brand, I would have maybe expected a bit better in terms of the shade range. And I also do think that 2 reddish shades that are in the bottom part of the picture, I do think those are looking a bit samey. So I think in terms of I do think that if you are launching only 5 blush shades, I do think you can make a good shade range. But with this one, I'm kind of questioning that we're having shades that are a bit samey in terms of the how in terms of their depth, and then there's only one very deep shade. So for me, this isn't necessarily the best blush release that I think I have seen. Then I think there was a second launch from them. So this is the Rose Dew Lip Bite Glowy Lip Tint. So we are also seeing another lip tint from another luxury brand. So the lip tints are very much like the Western brands are definitely playing catch up with these ones. Okay, so there seems to be 6 shades again. Well, I do have to say that 2 fuchsia looking shades, those are quite brave shades for being a luxury brand shade range. But I do actually have to say from this shade, what is with these 2 launches? If you look at the 2 fuchsia shades, those are looking very close to each other. Then when you see the 2 reddish shades, those are also looking kind of close. The brownish shades at least are looking distinctly different. One of them is clearly a deeper almost a cocoa brown, and then the other one is a bit lighter, I would say this more chocolate brown. So yeah, this is also a skip. I don't need a skin tint, especially in Dolce & Gabbana prices, and as I said, I do think these shades are looking, at least in the promo images, a bit too samey for being in a one single range. Then where were we? Then I think this is from Tarte. So this is the Key Largo Glow, and I think this is meant to be a bronzing stick. So I do think this is this goes to the category of summer-esque long kind of launches, and there are 4 shades. I do think this might be a bit more on this sort of they are more advertising this as something like a skin type, a body care type of product that you can get this sort of bronzy glow, but I do believe you could use this also to your face. Not a product that I particularly would be interested in, purely because this sort of bronzing theme isn't something I'm a pale pasty person all around like you. So for me, this isn't the type of product that I'm looking for. But if you've been looking for something like this from Tarte, I think this is already available. Makeup Revolution is again extending their face compacts, and now they are doing trio of highlighters. I do think this was quite expected, considering that we have seen now bronzers and blushes in these trios. So my first initial impression of this one is that I hope that especially the cream part of this highlighter trio isn't as bad as apparently the Makeup by Mario cream highlighters were when Makeup by Mario sort of launched duos. I'm kind of thinking that are these meant to kind of dupe the Makeup by Mario ones, but these are trios and the Makeup by Mario ones were duos, so I'm not thinking these are meant to be exact dupe, and I think there might be, well, some of the shades are maybe looking a bit samey. So far I think there's 4 shades in this one. So we have a very pale white one, then there is a pink one, a golden one, and then a more orangey bronzy one. I think for so, at least for now, this is a skip. I don't think a highlighter duo, especially if this has this sort of like Vaseline looking and creamy highlighter, that's necessarily not something I'm looking into. But if you did like the cheek formula of the bronzer and blush variation of this one, then this highlighter variation from Makeup Revolution could also be good to try out. Then we have a brand that I think I even posted this on my Instagram story saying that Hourglass is doing the same, and I feel at this point we are seeing both the packaging and the shades are being recycled, so it's no longer just the shades. So this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Palette, Flushed Edit. I do believe I might have seen somewhere a compilation on some Instagram account that from all which palettes these shades are picked from. So if you have a large Hourglass collection, you have these shades. I don't think you need to buy this one. I think like these Hourglass palettes are a good buy if you don't own any Hourglass and you want to get the best bang for your buck, then I do think these are worth it. But then I would just wait for the £6 that they usually launch for the holidays, because I do think those are the most cost-effective way. Even though as a one-time purchase those are pretty pricey, but then when you consider that you get 6 shades, because I do think that if you... I'm considering that is their price. So the description box doesn't have a price for this one. I do think I at least saw this available on Cult Beauty's website, so at least that's a place you could get this from. In terms of like blush shades, like we did get a pretty decent gradient. I do think there's a blush shade here for almost like every skin tone. There's like even one deeper shade, which is a good thing, because there used to be a point when Hourglass wasn't catering that much towards people with a more richer skin tones, but as I said, I just think that at this point we have seen this packaging, we have seen these shades. I think Hourglass is one of those brands that would desperately need some kind of lift up in terms of their product ranges, because it seems that they try to occasionally bring out some new products, but then the execution doesn't quite result in the doesn't quite live up to the, I think, the result they would hope. For example, they released, I think, the eyeshadow quads during last year, but those were very expensive, and while I think I saw most luxury reviewers giving a decent review to them, I think a lot of people did say that, yeah, okay, the eyeshadow quality was nice, but considering how much the quads cost, a lot of people said they weren't worth it. So I just think that this brand kind of would need something a bit different to get themselves to be popular again, because I do think like they have now reached the limit how many times you can release the same face powder shades. Then one of the first luxury summer releases that I was referring to, this is actually already available at least in our retailer, so I was pretty surprised how quickly these came. So Sisley, which is a very, very expensive luxury brand, their summer 2026 products, these are at least available in our retailers, and I did see these also, I think, available in Notino, so I do think at least in Europe these are available in quite many places. So this is the, what is this called? Does this have a name? Actually, I think this doesn't have a name. They were just like individual products. It's a pretty like cheek product heavy collection, so that is something a bit interesting. Though I do think Sisley isn't probably like, I don't think they are known for their eyeshadows. I do think their foundation products, even though those are like horrendously expensive, those go to like almost the €100 category. Like I think those do get some maybe hype from luxury viewers, but I do think the cheek products are what they are known for, especially these like orchid highlighters and blushes that you are actually seeing also in the images that are part of this collection. Especially those are quite popular because I do think the design of those is pretty, but these are very pricey. So within this collection, I think we are seeing there's 2 types of bronzers, and then we are seeing these blushes, or could those also be blush lighters? That's a very good question at this point. Are those? I think those might be just meant to be blushes. They, like, I do think as a collection this is very pretty, and it is a very summer-esque collection, like I do have to give them credit, but knowing just how pricey individually one of these products is, like, it's a skip for me. There are luxury brands that I can get something maybe like, I can get some, like my luxury brand feel at a lesser price, but if you are a huge Sisley fan, at least if you live in Europe, these I think are already available quite widely. Then Chanel's summer collection, and this is I think something that has been in some, has been making their rounds in the sort of like Asian Instagram accounts, so I don't have a name for this collection yet, because though so far this has been just like sneak peeks in like Asia, but I don't think it's been available in Europe yet. What is included in the summer collection, at least based on the image I'm seeing, we are getting a new, I think there is called Le Beige eyeshadow palettes. They're like biggest ones which have like 5 shades. Then there are some nail polishes, and there seems to be, I'm a bit unsure, are the concealers and mascara something new, but There's also is an individual highlighter included. And what are the products? And then there's actually, yeah, so in the plastic packaging you're seeing on the like plastic tube packaging you're seeing, those I think are liquid blushes, because at least when I zoom in they are, yeah, Le Blaze Blush Bellemine Healthy Glow blushes, so I think those are like cream glow blushes. I don't know, maybe was I expecting maybe like, as a summer collection, there's probably like, when I look at the eyeshadow at least, that looks like summery, but maybe I was expecting something a bit more in terms of design, because I don't think in terms of design these look to be quite like in their, how should I say, normal. If you have seen Chanel's makeup, it is put in usually like the staple line products are the sort of plastic black packaging, so maybe I was expecting a bit more from the outer makeup, but yeah, there seems to be also some kind of bag that comes as a merch in this one. I think for me at least, based on like seeing this, based on just seeing the products in this image, it's a skip, but if you were waiting for Chanel summer collection, this is how it's gonna be most likely looking like. Then Guerlain, some more luxury beauty products, and so Guerlain is releasing some new lipstick, so this is the KissKiss Honey-Infused Intense Lipstick. Now I'm curious, are these, I think based on the swatches, these are looking to be like these matte stylo lipsticks. I do kind of like the bee like embossing that this has, and actually the bee design that is kind of also in the like lipstick stylo. However, Guerlain's lipsticks are hideously expensive, so we can safely say in terms of pricing I'm out with this one, but I do kind of like the lipstick casing design, though with Guerlain prices I am expecting quite much from the packaging. In terms of shade range, I do think it's quite a broad shade range. We do have some neutrals, there's some pinks and there's some reds. It's actually pretty good that we are getting some neutral and pinkish shades, because a lot of high-end lip lines tend to be very red heavy, so it's good that we're also getting something else than just red shades. But this is a skip for me, but I do have to give them credit. I do like the design of this particular lip launch. Then something that I was a bit questioning, that why is this looking cheap? So Charlotte Tilbury has launched a Love at First Swipe Multi-Glow Face Palette, and this has apparently been spotted at Bloomingdale's, so I'm a bit unsure, is this a Bloomingdale's exclusive or is this something that's gonna come out later also on her own website. But yeah, something in this, I don't know, is it the packaging? We did see this kind of similar packaging in one of the blush duos that I do think were launched last year, and I think she actually brought those back during the Valentine's Day season this year. And I was kind of 50-60 about that, is it a bit too kid makeup-esque product, but I do think with the powder, with the blush at least, it looked somehow like okay. With this one, I don't know why it is, but I am just not like, for me this isn't screaming Charlotte Tilbury quality. Also, like in terms of the how these are arranged inside the like palette, there's just, I don't know why I'm not liking this one, because I'm a sucker for a good face palette, and I do own a Charlotte Tilbury face palette. It was the one from their holiday collection from last year, my most expensive misbuy from last year, but I bought it and I'm still keeping it obviously around, but I can be persuaded to buy this kind of product, even though I'm the last person who needs a new cheap product palette especially. But yeah, something this one is just not doing it for me, but if you are interested in this one, and Bloomingdale's is a retailer you can shop from, I think this should already be available. Then some Sea Beauty. This is I usually don't feature a lot of Asian beauty brands, but I do know that this is one of the bigger brands, and I actually do think this is quite cute. So this is by, is it Cheeryep, I think is the brand's name. I think this is a brand that they have like different, they use a bit different names. So they are launching a new spring eyeshadow palette, and and along with the palette there is a like blush lighter duo. I do actually kind of like this palette. It's a nice like mix of like spring colors, but then you also get some neutrals. So I do think for a lot of people this could actually be a good in-between palette, where you have your like neutrals to go to, but you do have some pops of like pastel-esque spring shades. Also, I do think the highlighter blush lighter palette is looking quite pretty, and I do like the green packaging this, especially the eyeshadow palette, and also I do think the face palette has. So yeah, I think if you're into your Sea Beauty brands, and I do know this is one of those brands that has been a bit more popular, and actually do like the fact that this is one of the Sea Beauty brands that they do these like bigger palettes. So if you like to shop from, I think at least from YesStyle, you should be able to get this particular one. So if you shop from YesStyle or any other like Asian beauty brand retailer, maybe look into this one if you are looking for a good new spring palette to try out. Then from Gucci we are having the Gucci Glow oil in water tint, so we're having another lip tint. We are very much getting all the lip tints apparently from the luxury brands. I'm just gonna say directly, again, another skip. I don't need to buy a lip tint from a special luxury brand, and knowing Gucci's pricing, this is definitely going in the pricing category that I am not shopping my lip tints in. I can get them from K-beauty brands or even from some drugstore brands if I want to. But if you were looking for a lip tint from Gucci, I do think this should be available soon. NYX is coming out with a matte variation of their sort of like this clicky stick. So NYX, just like many other brands, they basically duped Tarte and they had the sort of gloss variation of this kind of like clicky stick format, and now they're bringing out a matte, fat matte smooth color lipstick. Did we need one? Could we just have like a lipstick in a normal style of packaging like we saw earlier from Guerlain? Like, I'm questioning that, did we need this kind of, like, I think I would have been much maybe interested trying this product if we would have gotten this in a traditional lip stylo rather than this sort of clicky stick. But with the clicky stick, the issue is that if you like push it too much, you can't retract it anymore, so it is a bit like more difficult to control how much product you get. So for me, I think because of the fact that I'm just not a fan of the packaging that this comes in, it's a skip for me. But if you were waiting for a more matte formula in this kind of packaging, I do think this should be available at least in the States currently. So Beauty Creations is launching some new eyeshadow palettes. So these are the magnetic palettes. So basically the idea is that I think that you can stack these together. At least so far there seems to be 4 variations. I do think we are getting quite good variety. So there is one more neutral one, there's a pink lane one, then you get some greens and then you get some blues. But I do think even the colorful palettes, those do seem to have some neutrals in it. So I think Beauty Creations is one of those brands that is a bit more inexpensive brand. So I do think if you're looking for some drugstore eyeshadow to try from, and Beauty Creation is something that's as accessible for you, I do think these could be something you could try out. And I mean, these are pretty convenient, so if you want to get all of them, you can stack them together. But for me, I don't need any of these color stories. I have these quite covered in my current collection. But yeah, I do think it's a nice, I think they did kind of do the thing that you can combine the 2 eyeshadow palettes. So something that Fenty, I think, did with their original eyeshadow palette release when Fenty did the sixpence. So it's quite interesting that they now, aside from the palettes that you can click in together, now you also get some magnetic palettes that you can stack in together. And we are on the last launch of today. So this is from Louise, and this is one of their budget boxes, and this is the April budget box. But if you order this on April, it's not going to be shipping until the beginning of May. That's also always the funny thing with these ones. I don't really feature all of the budget boxes, but with this one I do feature it because it's a bit more on the makeup heavy side. So this is apparently going to be Paige's pick. So Paige is the CEO of the brand, and this was I think she explained it on her. It was on her Instagram story. She explained that these would be her go-to everyday makeup product, so it's a creation of her favorites. Within this collection you get a lip kit. So in the lip kit you get a sort of brownish nude sort of eyeliner. Then there is one of the nude lip bases, and you get one of their glosses. Then you get some these individual lashes, and then I think there is some face mask included, and also some, I think there's also maybe a face cream in this one. And then you get a eyeshadow palette, but I do think this is an all matte palette. So I do think if you're eyeing this, especially for the eyeshadow palette, you should consider that it's a all matte palette. But I do think the owner of the brand did say, and based on how she does her makeup, she really does only use matte eyeshadow. So I do think actually when I kind of saw this box and how she went through it, I can kind of actually see that these would genuinely be products that she would use. So it kind of is good that she is it kind of matches what she is saying. So, but as I said, this is a budget box. You can order this either as a subscription or as a one-time purchase. If you order it one-time purchase, it's a bit more expensive, but this is something that you can now order. But as I said, even though it's called April budget box, it won't be shipping until the beginning of next month. So that's just something to consider, that if you order this now, you might have to wait for it a little bit. those were all the launches I had to discuss for this week. Comment down below what were your maybe top picks from this week's makeup releases. If you like this video, push the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell button if you want to get notifications from future content. You can also find with the same nickname Makeup Hedgehog on Instagram. I hope you guys on that video. Bye bye!